If you have a Nissan Altima, I have just what you're looking for. Here before me is a set of Morimoto XB LED fog lights. We're going to go ahead and install them on this Nissan Altima, and I'm going to show you just how much brighter and better looking they are than stock. To install your Morimoto XB LED fog lights, you're going to need a Phillips head screwdriver. We're going to start by turning our wheels to one side, getting under the vehicle and removing 2 bolts underneath the bumper. Move the corner of the bumper out a little bit to get it to come out. Now that you have these 2 bottom bolts out, you can jump over to the inside of the fender liner and remove this one clip for better visibility. From there, grab the bottom corner of the bumper and pull it out and start removing the liner. From there, go ahead and locate the fog light bulb. To remove the connector off the bulb, pull this tab out and push the connector down. Now the next step is to remove the 2 bolts that are holding the fog light into the bumper. You can either use your Phillips head screwdriver or a 10mm socket. And just like that, your fog light is free. Go ahead and take it out. On this Morimoto fog light, we have 2 functions. This function is the DRL function, the top and the bottom illuminate. Next, we have the actual fog light function that turns on with your fog lights. To power up the DRLs, we have this extra harness that comes in the box. This plug taps into your parking light wire. Then you have the shorter wire that plugs into one of the plugs on the fog lights. The other plug on the fog light plugs into the fog light plug on the car. On the DRL harness, you run the longer wire to the other side of the vehicle, plug that into the fog light, and that also has a plug to plug into the vehicle for the fog light function. Now, as I mentioned before, this set of fog lights does come with a DRL harness. So what we're gonna do is tap that into the parking light wire on this light. To do that, disconnect the plug on the back and bring it down. Strip back some of the conduit around the wires, and we're gonna tap into this green wire, which is our parking light. Now off camera, I tested that this green wire is the parking light wire with a voltmeter. You can test yours just to make sure. The last thing you want to do is tap into the turn signal. Now to connect the 2, take your harness and place this green wire in this ridge of the wire tap. Flip this flap over and give it a good squeeze. Now I'd recommend you take a pair of pliers and give it a good squeeze also. Now, if you did this correctly, as you can see, it's a nice flush connection and this tab locks in. Now that you have that connected, the next step is to plug this plug back into this bulb. Just reach up in the back, position the plug correctly, and push down till you hear a click. Now, as you can see, there's quite a bit of wiring here. But you can see that there is a longer side and a shorter side. This shorter side will go to our left side and the longer side will go to the other side. Once you route the wires, you can use the supplied zip ties to make sure the wire stays in place. I'm going to go ahead and connect the shorter side into our driver's side and push them together till you hear a click. Now that that's connected, let's go ahead and mount up our fog light into the bumper. It's the same exact steps as you followed to remove it. Place your 2 bolts back in and then tighten them down. Go ahead and connect the connector onto the back of the fog light and then run your DRL harness to the other side of the car. Let's go ahead and clean up this left side. Let's go ahead and bundle up these wires and zip tie them in place. Cut off the excess of the zip tie. Let's grab another zip tie and secure it to the vehicle. Now, I'd recommend not reinstalling the fender liner just yet, just in case you need to adjust the height of the fog light. Now, to run this wire properly, I'd recommend you take off these 10mm bolts and run this wire above the skid plate. Now, along the bottom of the radiator, you see these few holes. They're not all usable, but you can use this middle one. Go ahead and route a zip tie through the center and out the side. Cut off the excess. And let's move on to installing the right fog light. Now, to install this right side, it's the same as the left side. Remove these bottom bolts on the bottom of the bumper with a Phillips head screwdriver. Go ahead and pull out the bottom of the fender liner from the bumper. Unplug the connector off the fog light bulb and remove the 2 screws that are holding in the fog light. With the 2 screws removed, go ahead and take out your factory fog light. Let's grab our right side Morimoto one and reinstall it. Now, before I reinstall the fog light, I'm going to connect the DRL harness. You can do that later on, but since it's right here, you might as well connect it. After that's connected, let's go ahead and put our fog light back into the bumper and reinstall the bolts. Put the bolts in very loosely, make sure your fog light is positioned in correctly, and then tighten down the bolts. Now, with the bolts tightened down, let's go ahead and reconnect the factory fog light plug. Let's tidy up our DRL harness wiring with some zip ties. Let's go ahead and turn on our fog lights, make sure everything works, make sure they're leveled, aimed properly. Pop these fender liners back into place, the bottom skid plate back into place, throw all of our bolts back in and clips, and you should be good to go. As you see, it's that simple. These look great, perform great. If you like these products, please visit our website. As always, thanks for watching, like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.